think we're recording. Call the meeting to order. Hello, everyone. Congratulations to everyone.
Congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
Fine letter in the newspaper, and I forgot to send anything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, was it in there?
I saw that.
You're
I'm like,
all so
I
bad.
know.
I know.
Yeah.
Pam calls me up and she emails me. And says, no one sent me anything. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And I was about to start doing mine, and she's like, so I think you should do it. And I'm like,
He is the chair.
Well, I had no,
I
yeah,
did
I
it
had no ideas. I mean, other than,
hopefully it was. I don't know
Give
if you
us
guys had a
money.
chance to read it.
It's a mood
So
issue.
blunt.
It's a mood issue now.
Yeah,
Yes, it
exactly.
is.
So, but yes, I'm glad everything's good. We'll talk more about it later in the agenda. But first, we have someone in the audience. Would you actually like to, for public participation, would you like to speak, or are you all set just here to watch?
I didn't know if I'm going to speak right off at the beginning or later.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
yeah,
It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
well, I just want to, I had a list of things that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't know how much time, or if like next month I could come and do some, I just want to say that I've been watching GTV since I moved to town.
Yeah. Why don't you pull up a chair right
Pull
to
a
the
chair
mic
up.
here?
Yeah.
Why don't you come join us up here?
Join the table.
Oh, yeah, why don't you tell me who you are,
Oh,
where you live, and...
my name's Eric, and I live over Morgan Estates. Oh, God. Near the women's prison, and teach at the high school. And since I came here, I've been a big GTV fan, and I watched it for a while, and I saw Charles's cooking show, and said, okay, I went down and was welcomed with open arms and got to do all sorts of fun stuff on GTV, and
Well, I'm gonna...
just kind of wanted to come down and try to get involved a little bit. And
Good. Well, the usually public participation, and I don't know if everybody wants to be lax about it, but usually you would just address the board and just kind of tell what you want and what you think, and usually there's not any interaction back and forth.
Uh-huh.
But if you wanted to submit something to the board, we could have you over here to talk about it next meeting.
Okay,
But if you
sure.
want to talk about specifics, you can definitely...
Well, I just jotted down just a couple things over like 5 minutes before I came here, so would have something to say instead of freezing up. Again, I just put down that it's just an honor to be, connected with GTV. It's been a fun experience, just being involved in it, and I kind of feel like GTV could do a lot more than it's doing. It's
Such
it-
as,
Well,
I'm getting there.
There's no... Let's let him speak.
Well, I had a couple of different. I wrote down a few things.
go ahead.
Set times for shows. So when you advertise out in, say, like at Hannaford's and put a list up of what time the show is going to be on, I don't know if Charles runs into that, but I'll tell somebody, oh, I'm on GTV. Oh, when are you on? Well, you're on a lot, but it's just kind of scattered and nothing set. If I could say, well, my show's on Monday at 4 and Tuesdays at 6.
You can.
Then you can
and I've
kinda-
given you the list.
Barbara.
You know.
Barbara, just let him talk. Thank you.
And I know you're doing a great job.
No, don't say that.
I
Just,
don't. No, I
wait,
just-
keep on going.
Let's see. Flyers to kind of let more of the community know of what. A lot of times I'll talk to the kids in school, or the teachers in school, and I'll say, there's some cooking shows on GTV, and you get a look of, I don't know, even GTV even existed. They just run by Channel 16, and they're like, they don't even know it's there. So I think we probably could expand the viewing audience. I don't know what the total viewing audience in Goffstown is for numbers, but I just think if high school kids don't know about it, that's a large group that could be potential viewers of the show. And I was talking to, whose name slips me today, he teaches the TV production class and the video production class, I think they call it.
Yep.
And I was asking him if he ever knew of the facilities that are there and the possibilities of kind of putting his curriculum into GTV, with shows or ideas that the students have, or videos that the students have, and intertwine it with the station. I think there's maybe a lot of untapped untapped talent for some high school kids that are really good at making videos or making short films or just doing commercials or a little bit of music or theme songs or anything like that. I think it would kind of look good that, you know, it's part of that teacher's curriculum, which I'm sure it must be in the thousands of standards and curriculums that, you know, teachers have to kind of meet, state standards. I'm sure, I would imagine that they would mention doing, working with the, you know, the public access TV. If that makes any sense at all. The loops on advertising, I mean, the loops that are shown in between shows.
That's called a bulletin board.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I knew you were searching for it.
The bulletin board, now I know what I'm to call it.
Yeah.
It just seems it's not, it seems it's updated, but it's not updated. It kind of, like, something that sticks out was the yarn shop. I don't know if anybody else, but it seemed like it was on every 10 minutes, and the music was good, but after a while, you just wanted to throw something at the little clicking music that they had to it. It was just kind of annoying to me. And so the pictures that you guys post on the bulletin board seem like some of them, like they show like Chainsaw Awareness Safety Day 2011. That picture's still on there. Since I moved in, they still show it. Freddie's cat having a good day out in the sun. And there's maybe I'd say 20 or 30 pictures that I see constantly. It's like, that's just like empty space that could be advertising one of the shows or advertising the station or, I don't know. Or have more pictures of more animals that people send in. Because you put that thing on and you know somebody's coming on at 9. Like, oh, I know Charles Minnick's going to be on in a half an hour or 20 minutes, so I put it on. But now I'm going to have to sit through Mary's cat Checkers, and then Fred's dog enjoying the snow. But that Chainsaw Awareness Day 2011, the cleanup committee from just old pictures, instead of utilizing that airtime to put, I don't know.
Understandable.
Community variety show, which I have booked for the 27th. I'm trying to coordinate community entertainers or just wannabe entertainers, and I plan on doing like I think we're going to call it How You Got Your Talent. So we're going to have people from the community come in and do either magic tricks or singing or dancing. I have 2 kids from the school right now that are going to do play the guitar. I got somebody who's going to read poetry. So it's going to be kind of like a little community variety show, which was, I think I'm planning on doing on the 27th. It's still kind of up in the air.
March 27th?
March 27th?
Yeah, a couple weeks from now. Yeah. So I put flyers up in the school. I've got a couple emails back for not as many as I thought. And I also sent it over to Maple Ave, but they got kicked back and said we have to get clearance on the SAU. So it seems like there's a lot of, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be to get stuff posted on the elementary school's website and the middle school's website to try to get those parents involved. You know, you get the kids involved and the parents will become involved in the station, then more people know about it. Oh, my son's going to be on the variety show next week, you know, and that gets more people watching the show. So the variety show is kind of a startup thing. I'm going to give it a try, see how long, see the response we get and how it comes out. So that we're filming that on the 27th. The last thing I'll bore you guys with is sound checks. More times than not, I'll put it on, and something will be kind of off a little bit. I was watching it yesterday, and there was a frozen picture of one of the religious shows that were on, and he was just frozen. And then I put it on 10 minutes later, still frozen. The guy's talking, it's frozen. Or sometimes you put it on and you can't hear it. Sometimes you put it on and it's just, I don't know.
So,
You know, it's just not,
Yeah.
no,
you know, I know it's easy to say. I'm at 9 o'clock. The last thing I would want to do is, I put it on, and I notice it's frozen. Oh no, I got to get up, go down to GTV, adjust the volume knob, you know. And
That's not going to happen. But
I mean, I'm not a technical person at all when it comes to that, but I just notice sometimes I put it on, and things are off, and that's all little things that kind of take away when somebody puts on GTV.
Well, does the committee mind if we just talk about just a couple of the things? Is that all right?
Hit on all of them quickly.
Just bulletin board, that's something that, yeah, definitely, if there's stuff that's old, it needs to be recycled out and photos and stuff like that. But I think, I don't know if you know the situation that GTV has been going through the last 6 to 8 months.
No.
We've been trying to, actually yesterday, the voters passed GTV, allowed it a revolving fund that was funded $113,000, which is going to allow us to have a 40-hour full-time coordinator.
Yeah.
So that, I believe that coordinator is going to be addressing a lot of these issues.
Oh, good,
and
good.
be- and
When
be-
is that coming?
I think later on in the meeting,
It's
we're going to be
approved
discussing
yesterday.
some things.
Baby
That's
steps.
Yeah, exactly. But no, the money's there. The money's in the
For
account.
a full-time.
Full-time person and a couple of part-timers, so it's actually going to be an incredible increase. I think overall there's going to be, responsibility that's going to have to be taken for all these different things
Right.
that you just talked about.
Yeah.
For what you talked about, the last thing is it's a bad, they play, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dick, but I'm assuming they use MPEG files to play through their tightrope system, their
I'm not
tightrope
sure.
system.
I'm not
They
sure
do,
what they use.
but they play the MPEG files, and what happens sometimes when a file gets put in, when it plays through it's corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
The video will freeze from when that spot happened, but the audio is a totally separate
Yeah.
entity, and it's a totally separate part of the file itself, so it will keep on playing while that thing freezes. That's happened to us before. I'm assuming that might have happened with the Tilrac. It might be something totally different, but that's just a one file accident kind of thing happening. Bulletin board, I'm assuming they're going to be able to take a look at, and the coordinator, one of their jobs, and as this committee has discussed, is to increase activity with the schools. It will
Oh, good.
be
Yeah,
a
I
big,
mentioned,
major
last
part
month
of it.
I noticed that you guys were talking about
There's
this.
nobody there during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
David
it's a
Suter and a
shared
couple
space
of
during the
Right.
day,
part-timers right now are working. David Suter's only working 20, 25 hours. Barbara could probably help me more. So there isn't a lot that he can do above the normal public access that he's trying to accomplish, and the two gentlemen that are doing a great job covering meetings. But when that happens, it's this board and the selectmen expected to the quality of GTV to increase exponentially.
Because it's such a great
And we agree.
thing to have. It's
Absolutely.
awesome.
You were preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, yeah.
And things like
Big fan.
and the pictures of Checkers the cat,
Yeah.
that's viewer driven. If people aren't sending Dave in the station, here's a picture to upload, he doesn't have anything to upload.
And that might be,
Bulletin
and we
boards,
might
and
look
that's-
around, and the new coordinator might decide, let's not do that anymore. We're just going to stick on just bulletin board pages, and we're just
Yeah,
going to do
kinda
that.
like
But
advertise what's
going
happening
on,
the
like
show.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pam, you had something? A question?
I just, for the record, Eric, what's the name of your show?
Cooking with Comedy.
So, but yeah, if you have anything else and you want to write that down, specifically, we got it here, and we're definitely going to put it on minutes, and so
I got a
everybody
bunch
can
of
review
other
it.
stuff, but I'm wasting enough.
But if you
guys'
want to
time.
send it to us ahead of time, we'll be able to sit down and we can actually call you up and
His
discuss
email's
it back
on
and
the
forth.
website.
Okay,
so-
great.
And we can, I'll put it in the agenda, and we can definitely have those discussions, but trust me, we understand. We understand where you're coming from.
Awesome.
So we're
Like I
definitely,
said, big fan, and
and the new contract that we just had, actually is gonna let us allow us to have live drops, in the football
Comcast.
field, and then we're also upgrading we're looking to upgrade the modulators, which will definitely heighten the quality of the replays, which is gonna be great. So there's a lot of stuff
seems
that's
like a
gonna
real
be happening.
untapped. I mean, it's working now,
Yep.
but it just seems with a full-time person, it's gonna be.
I think GTV's always been there, but it's just now it has the opportunity with the funding
Yeah.
and the opportunity to take it
I
to
would
another
just be
level.
thrilled if you
And-
guys
and
would
it
just,
will.
if
It
you guys
will.
would just let me just throw out an idea once in a while.
Well, that's something. It's
The
not
more the
really
merrier.
us.
I'd be
It's not
thrilled.
really us to decide those things. When the new coordinator puts in, you'll be dealing with them, and that's their. We don't oversee the coordinator. Neil and Sue, the town administrator, takes care of that. We're just an advisory and policy kind of board. Nothing.
That's great about the voting, though. That's awesome.
Actually,
Do we
nobody,
have
go ahead.
do we have an alternate opening, or
That's what I was discussing before the meeting. Yes, there was going to be, I believe Mr. Pengri's opening is going to be ending very shortly, and if you wanted to jump on as an alternate, you definitely can do that to be part of the board. So you
Their
could,
forms are online as
Yeah.
well. They're called volunteer forms.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Pendegree was regular, permanent, right?
He was. What'll happen is an alternate get bumped up to board member.
Right,
and-
one
and
of the
then- Then when
alternates
that
that-
opens up, then an alternate position will open up, and that
Right.
will be what will happen.
One
Yep.
of the alternates that want to.
Don hasn't been here in years.
But
Does
he's
he still
always,
want to be?
yes.
Yeah, he does email.
to
He
get
does
here
email
tonight.
to say that
If he can get
Did you
here
hear from
late.
David?
It hasn't been years, but.
David.
Clark.
Jim Pinckney.
No, I did not hear
There
from
was an
David.
email, I just checked before.
Oh.
Mike did
something came
email me.
up.
Mike did, but David did not.
David did.
Oh, he did? Okay,
did?
there you
Okay.
go. I
Yeah,
haven't looked at my email, so, yeah.
I didn't look at the time.
Yeah, but as long as he did before the meeting. Yeah, no, I think everybody's good. Don definitely, he emails back. He's having a time situation where he's
Right.
something's
Grandkids.
yeah, something's
David
going
and his
on right
grandkids.
now, but he'll definitely, I'm sure, be back. He's always seems to be involved. But there will be an opening, so definitely we encourage you to jump on and
That'd be
and
great.
definitely be discussing these matters with us. And it's gonna get more interesting along the way here, and especially the next 6 to 8 months when we establish and start figuring out what
I
we're
have a
gonna do.
lot of new show ideas I like to throw out, kid shows.
Yep.
There's a lot of ideas and it's a great launching point. I don't know can I just take one quick second here?
Sure.
I don't know if your board realizes there's you probably know about Peg Media.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I put my show out on Peg Media.
Yeah,
And-
we're actually, I'm the executive director for Manchester.
Yeah.
So we're actually, and Dick's actually the president of the NHCCM, so he actually.
And it's just, the response that I've gotten from Peg Media is just mind-blowing. I added it all up, it's like 3 million households that, the show that I'm working on now, it's all over the country. And, you put GTV logos on that, and people are, now the station is getting just an amazing amount of publicity.
It's great.
I've been bugging this young man to get on Peg Media.
Yeah.
And all the cost is like, I put in about $20 every 2 months, and I think uploading is like 19 cents for the station. I have to send in the money. You send like $20, but I guess each station, I guess it's like 19 cents, 15 cents.
50 cents per gig, and then
Yeah.
up to a maximum of 99 cents.
Is this a different, what's Peg Media?
Peg Media.
Which
Peg
one's that?
Media is the file server that started out in Maine,
Ah, yes.
and regretfully for him, a week after he started, he told Joe Lara about it.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Lara told me and some others, and within a couple of weeks, we were all using it, and then within a month, he was all over the country, and within, I forget how many months, he had 1,000 stations signed on. Initially, it was all free, and the guy was on the hook himself. He had one major sponsor, might have been Democracy Now.
It's a big show.
Yeah, it wasn't that one, but it's one similar to that. But then he got to the point where he did have to charge. And now, if you're putting money up, then it's free.
Yeah.
As long as your money is up there.
It's funny, you
it's
get a
free
lot of-
for stations to download. But if not, if you put it up, then it costs the station 50 cents for the first gig and 99 cents maximum. So.
But it's only, when I see someone uploads the show, it's like very minimal, 19, I sent like $20, and it's like, when someone uploads, it's like 19 cents, 20 cents out of.
Yeah,
my
because you're not
account.
using the full gig.
Yeah.
The reason why Charles doesn't, because he's afraid to be famous, so that's what
Yeah.
he doesn't want to, he wants to stay local.
Yeah, right.
Thank you very much. We
Thank you, I
appreciate
appreciate you guys.
can I just make a comment
Yeah.
about the frozen thing?
Yeah.
If you contact David, he can do it directly and kick off that show and stop it. So
If-
as a
if he's
courtesy
around
as a
a computer.
customer. What?
If he's around a computer and not out shooting pictures on
Right,
ice.
that's
Because
true.
they can schedule.
I
and-
can go in. I can go into the computer and stop that show and kick it out if it's a bad show.
'Cause it's-
And the
Oh,
bulletin
you
board
mean,
would then
if
start
there's
rolling.
something wrong, audio,
Right,
visual
right.
with it?
It's the DVD that's
Yeah, I can do that
bad,
from home from
and
the phone.
you know
You just
we
set up
could
an
kick
IP
that
that's
off.
lock
So
me
if
in or
you
something
call
like that can
and told us, then we could do that, and, you know,
Seems
kick
like
that show out.
some of the church services, sometimes the sound is, they're having a beautiful, they're singing a beautiful song.
That's different.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of that is production.
Yeah, that's just them
Their end.
sending it to you when you play. We, in PEG, public access specifically, you can't touch the product. The product
Right.
goes on, and if it's bad, it's bad. There's nothing you can do about it, and you're not supposed to really be fooling around with that stuff. So.
But if it's the production that is, you know, quirky and stuff like that, like singing is off-key or whatever, we don't do anything with that. But if you tell me the show is frozen and it's stuttering and it's, you know, doing like that, I can kick the show off. But you have to call us and let us know, because I don't have 16 and I don't watch cable.
Yeah, well, these are all definitely long things. Thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you guys for letting me
Moved
talk for a
after
little
that.
bit.
Yeah.
All right, consideration of the February 13 minutes. Did everybody have a chance to take a look at them?
Yeah.
Any questions regarding them, or do you guys want to read them right now?
The
good.
question I had was, now, I thought Jim Pingree was,
Couldn't.
Addressed.
I talked to Sue about it, and
Yeah.
Sue said we had to wait. There was no really procedure of removing a board member from the committee, so we had to wait.
We disagreed with that.
We disagree
Yeah.
with it, but that wasn't,
Right,
it
right.
didn't
Let
matter.
you know.
Didn't matter.
So
It
has
just
he
didn't matter.
has he been informed? I mean, did they
Oh, I sent out a letter
actually send him-
twice. I sent out the
Right.
one that we talked about, and I sent over
Right.
numerous emails.
Right.
Jim has to know. If he doesn't know, then I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell him.
No,
But,
he knows, but.
yeah, but I talked to Sue about it, and I guess it's coming up very quickly.
Has anybody called him?
well, is his term up
I
now?
don't have it.
Because
It's
March-
2013, but I believe it's March. Yeah. I
That's
believe
it,
it's-
yesterday,
yeah,
and the terms are up.
So I'm assuming that it's going to be, so it's going to happen. So very
Okay.
shortly.
Right.
And
Okay.
and then we have a couple of board members who need to fill out their forms, and they both know who they are. So they said they're going to take care of that.
I filled mine out, and then I was complimented, so I know that it's going to be rejected.
No, okay, there you go. Wonderful. All right, so I need a motion to accept minutes.
Aye.
All right, first, second, all in favor?
Second
Aye, there you
Yep.
go. Yeah, first and second.
Okay, thank you.
Then we have director's report. Neil.
Well, first thing I'll mention is that if you want to be on a board or committee, any board or committee, as Pam pointed out, volunteer applications are online, but agenda requests are also online. If you want to get on the agenda of a Board of Selectmen meeting, of a planning board meeting, of any other meeting, including GTV, you can fill out an agenda request and mail it to the chairman of that committee.
Okay,
So that would be something if you wanted to come in and talk.
okay.
That's different than the public comment section.
It's different, like anybody,
Right.
if you're accepting public
Yeah.
comments, somebody could come in and make public comments. But if you wanted to be on the agenda, like normally, the meeting might not stop and have time to talk with that person who made a public
Right,
comment.
yeah.
We have the time to do it, but the selectmen wouldn't,
Oh, I
or,
understand that.
so I just wanted to point that out.
Is it an online form?
Yeah.
So it's automatically emailed to
It's
the,
probably a PDF that you can download,
Yeah,
fill out.
and then send off.
And
to-
send.
Scan
Yeah.
it, email it.
So you still have to submit it, even though you fill it out.
Okay. It's
Right,
not an
yeah.
interactive.
not an
form.
interactive.
Yeah, you have to send it to the chair, not to just not to like Sue or something like that. So.
Then, as was briefly mentioned, almost all of the budget items for the town side passed.
Except the chickens.
Yeah, right.
That was so funny.
Oh, the chickens in the pass?
No,
Chickens didn't make it.
Really?
I
Out of
have it.
everything?
I have it right here. I have all the,
That's Article 10.
yeah.
I thought they got a complete pass. No.
No, 696 yes, 1435 no. We
Wow.
wa- No one wants chickens in their.
No,
next
that's
door.
true.
Planning board is
Roosters.
not
It's all about the
recommended.
roosters.
It's all about the roosters.
All about the
One
roosters. Not
person
about
gets a
chickens.
rooster in your neighborhood.
You don't care about the chickens. The roosters.
It's the roosters, yeah.
It was that was one of very few articles that was not recommended by whatever board oversees it. It points out that the electorate actually probably reads those recommendations.
Yeah, well, that little thing the town sends out.
You know
that
how many people
is really
carry that
nice.
into the
Voter-
ballot? I mean,
The voter guide?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, both the budget passed and the revolving fund passed. That meant GTV was going to be funded either way.
Yeah.
Because both passed, instead of the town budget covering GTV, it'll now be covered by the revolving fund. That means that we don't have a set budget. Our budget is based on revenue from Comcast.
When does that start, though?
Immediately.
April 1st. I believe.
Sue told me it was, the account would be established in 2
They'll
days.
put money in it right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
2 days, yeah.
Because we're gonna need money to fund GTV, but I think the money will start going in on a regular basis.
Quarterly, it goes,
Quarterly.
it goes quarterly, and what happens is, the formula works of the 40% would be
April 1st
quarterly.
would be the first
Yeah, so it would be
quarter
whatever.
that's taking effect.
Yeah, 40% of that payment goes directly into that account, and it just keeps, and we can roll it over, which is the key. It's not even just like, hey, here's the money, you can roll it over, so that's great.
Can we do it as, when and if, or as he's acting until we get that when and if? Do we still use the monies as, that, I can't remember the number that we used to have to ask the committee for. The numbers
The
under.
account number?
Yeah.
I mean, the 458.
No, I'm talking like 50 cents or $200 or $1,000. Do we still have that? Because that's our process.
Purchasing policy.
Yes, yes,
That's
everything.
our process.
The
That doesn't
the selectmen
change.
still have the authority over the monies, but the GTV is no longer in the budget process or doesn't have
Right,
to be approved.
but the selectmen still have
Yes.
only, this, I'm gonna say a number, like 50,000. If we wanted to spend that, we have to ask them.
Yes.
If we wanted to spend 500,
Basically have to
it's in a
justify.
budget, so we don't need to ask
You don't
anybody.
have to ask them.
Okay,
It
that's
follows
still-
the same rules.
Yeah,
the same
okay,
rules.
that's what I was wondering,
Yes.
budget
Yes.
monies, yeah,
It's just where
okay.
the funding comes from.
Yeah.
Simplified, you continue to follow the town purchasing
Yeah.
policy.
Right, okay, all right, that's what yeah.
So like
Now, you're gonna
and
purchase
this-
lights for us, right, now, because we're gonna get money?
Well, that's a
Yeah,
different.
I was gonna bring that up
that-
tonight
that-
about what
that's
happened
that's
last
a,
week.
that's let's talk about that one in new business. But we're going to talk about the contract. Go ahead.
So
Okay.
we will put together, Jason and I and Sue are all working on a full-time coordinator job description. And then we'll have that approved by the Board of Selectmen, and then we will advertise it, have the advertisement approved by the Board of Selectmen. We'll get it out there as soon as we can so we can get a coordinator in here. Then it'll probably take a little while for the coordinator to get acquainted with
Get
the
up to
system and
speed.
everything. And then, eventually he'll have to make priorities based on what he feels, whether it's lighting or cameras or, equipment or whatever. But having had my first really experience in the studio a couple weeks ago in a long time, I saw the lighting problem firsthand, and it's pretty bad. So, I don't know.
So you didn't believe us?
No, I haven't experienced it.
I think well, there's two things, and I'm just pointing
Yeah,
out there.
go ahead.
If the lighting issue is a problem, and if we the timetable, because we can definitely talking with Sue and Neil, we can kind of see a timetable of how quickly hopefully this is going to get done. The biggest issue that I know of when I've walked into other places is you always have to figure out are the lights DMX, or are they is there a lighting dimming board? If there isn't one, those are the decisions that a coordinator needs to know, because those are things that affect you for 5 to 8 years. So yes, I think a coordinator definitely is going to have to wait for those lighting, even if it is an issue, because I would not want to be like our studio. We're looking at new lights, and I am going to upgrade later on to a lighting board. But right now, cost-wise, we're just going to have the DMX and the local dimming for the lights there, but we're not going to install a lighting board. This person could walk in and he could say, the studio's small, I have a ladder right here, I don't want to spend the extra money on this, I want to spend the money on something else, and those are discussions that need to be made, and I wouldn't want to make that decision for them. So I think waiting, that's my opinion.
and
I don't know, but,
As far as the studio lighting, we're not talking about a whole relight.
yeah.
We're talking about some additional lighting that's needed to fill some spots. Let me also mention, when you do start to look at the lighting, electrical's gonna have to be upgraded, because there aren't enough
Outlets?
circuits
Oh, okay.
on the main circuit board, unless the school's taken some stuff out, which hopefully they did, So anyway, so there will be that issue.
And if that's the case, that's going to have to go in front of the school board, because isn't that their facility, or is it the selectmen can?
It would go up against Jerry Agate,
Okay.
because it's his purview.
Okay. Cool.
Management,
Yep.
maintenance.
But I sent Jason a little video I made. Do you really think that was all lighting? Because
I believe that's lighting, but I don't believe what happened was Neil sent over a video of Supergirl, very cute video by the way, Supergirl, and it was all
who the girl was.
Yeah, I know, and it's all chroma keyed with Supergirl in it, and she's pretending to fly and all these different positions. Well, what's happening is that the light is not hitting underneath the set,
Right.
because it has to. When lighting happens, you have your key light, your fill light, and your backlight. And what was happening there is your fill light wasn't getting underneath of where it was, so
There is
it was
only
causing pixelation.
Light above. There
Yeah.
is no side
Yeah.
light, there's no backlight.
So it's pixelation in the back, because at the time it was the TC40, can only if it has a shadowed spot, the computer can't process the paint to the background. So that's why you're going to get those pixelations. It's a lighting issue. It's not a TC40 issue. So
Well, I didn't think it was a TC40 issue. I was thinking it might be a camera issue.
no, I don't.
No,
Because
no, it's just
the
anywhere
quality
you
of
get a
the
shadow.
video outside the keying is so low definition.
I mean, those
See,
cameras.
what you sent me was just the chroma key part. Was there something else after that?
If you try to look at facial characteristics or anything, it's all blurry.
You know what I realized, because we had our like, just using our place as an example, we had lighting Jonathan come in and take a look at our lighting, and you'd be amazed at how, if you light that properly, how much better your cameras look. They look crisp. They change the colors on. I was astounded. Our cameras are old. They're probably almost exactly the same as the
Ours are
GTV.
15 years old.
Yeah, ours are pretty. They're about good 10 years old.
What's the shelf life on a camera?
Usually 10. Well, those type are 10 to 15 years,
So
because they're corded. It's a little bit different than because they never leave that area.
Right.
So you can get a lot longer out of them. But no, GTV does need new cameras, and that might be something we look at with our
At the
grant
same
money.
time as-
Yeah,
right.
also we could be looking at robotics ones, which are actually cheaper than the plug-in ones nowadays. So there's a lot of different options the board and the coordinator can look at. But I don't think I think it's the lighting. I really don't think the cameras are that bad right now. So just my opinion. But anyways, go ahead.
That's probably all I have for
Okay.
admin.
Perfect. Fine.
I got
Go ahead.
one question.
Yes.
You said you're gonna work on a,
Job description.
job description. Who conducts the interview?
Well, that was a Sue has to establish an interview committee. She establishes
Committee,
that.
Can I,
She does that.
Can I interject? Because I talked to Sue, emailed Sue today. Because I had requested before I left, and then again today, if I could be on the hiring committee. And she came back and said that she's going to propose to the selectmen that there be a selectman, herself. Were you the other one?
I didn't see her email with you, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was.
Well,
I can tell you in a second.
Those people are not in the studio, so what?
Well,
Still, they're
and-
involved in
have
the
somebody
process.
And the
Like
rep
David.
from the committee. So I'm putting,
Well, I
himself.
actually talked to her about that I wanted to actually be on that board.
well,
You're talking about people who
You know.
are not in the studio, so they don't have a clue.
Well,
Yeah, but they can also,
you
even
can
if it's not
filter.
You need
technical,
to have a mi-
a selectman or a Sue,
Still
they
need-
can address the leadership qualities of this
Right.
person brings to the table.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if this person doesn't have technical qualities, those can be taught. You can teach somebody the technical things they need, and they should be there to see how will they manage, how will they lead the department.
Yeah. So, Dick, I understand what you're saying, but I think if there's going to, just throwing that out there, I definitely, in the process, even when I handed in the budget, if it was going to be a selection, I definitely wanted to be on it. So I don't know.
right.
Yeah, if you want to put it to a vote, that's fine, but I don't.
Well, I mean, I'm just, I've spent 17 years building it up, and I want to make sure that it's the right person as well.
Yep. I understand
But-
what you're saying.
Plus my experience with the NHCCM, where I know a lot of the people, everybody that's going to almost apply. But
to
Neil,
some extent, based on
I
your
hate to
comment-
say that.
Well, just a minute, by some extent, it just occurred to me as you're saying that, is you might almost have to recuse yourself from recommending any of those persons being on a board, reviewing them because of your personal relationships with all of them. Does that make sense?
Then put Dave in
no,
there.
it doesn't.
So-
Not
so
if you're
you
looking
could-
for.
You could tell us who you recommend, but actually.
Yeah, no, whatever is
It'd
decided.
be like me being on a board saying, hey, hire my brother, and
Just to let you know,
I was included? I must not have seen it.
well, no, because she just emailed to me.
But it would definitely make sense to have somebody who knows video production, being on a committee looking through resumes. And,
Right.
Right.
So I
Right.
think everyone agrees with that.
Yeah, so you can trip them up with questions to see if they know
Well,
what they say
actually,
they know in the resume.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Trip them up.
So I think Sue's gonna be the one that makes the decision. She's gonna pick the person from this board, and that's what so it's really up to her.
Well,
She's the one that's putting it together.
I got the impression she's gonna ask the cable committee to submit somebody,
Okay.
you know?
We'll have.
But
a
it
little-
doesn't sound like
I
it's
mean,
gonna
we
happen
don't meet
next week.
till- Yeah,
What?
let's say,
Well-
we meet monthly, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, that was
yeah.
my thing, that's why, you know,
And you can't have meetings on email.
Nope.
So.
So I don't know.
well,
I-
a special meeting can be called, that's all, if that's what she decides,
Oh, yeah.
then a
Okay.
special meeting could be
Yeah.
called, you know? Um,
No.
While Neil's still up on the table, grant money on the contract,
125,000.
and how
But
much,
the contract has not been finalized
No.
yet.
yeah, count
The-
Comcast.
it's gonna be finalized pretty soon, right? 'Cause money can't
We
go in.
thought it was gonna be finalized in December.
Well, no, the
Right.
money for the franchise fee still keeps going on no matter what. These are just specifics in the contract,
Right.
so the money still keeps coming in. No, yeah, I think the last I heard, and you could correct me, I think it was 125,000.
So is it 25 a year for 5 years? or
Nope.
One,
One lump.
That was when I was sitting down when we were all discussing it. One of the reasons why I think that my feeling is that if you're going to get it all at once, at least you can collect the interest on it.
yeah,
not
I mean,
like
they,
Comcast, so.
they're charging you for the interest anyways.
Yeah.
Not that there's
so
any
that's the
interest
grant-
on anything.
So the grant money is gonna be
That
separate,
goes to GTV?
Right.
so that could be used to like upgrade
That's equipment.
everything
But
and
we
not
also-
go into that.
But we also have to understand you're talking about a stretch of, well, what the good thing about the revolving fund was if you got 20,000 extra at the end of the year, you can use the 25,000, whatever, and
Right.
it doesn't go back to the thing. But you also have to think it's 125,000. Yes, of course, because it has, GTV has been somewhat, not neglected, but just hasn't been updated recently. You're going to probably use a good chunk of
chunk of
change
that.
in the beginning, but you got to spread that over the next 7 years or
Right.
5 years or
5.
5 years. So you got to spread that out a little bit. And then there's no assumption that you're going to get that grant money the next time around. There was different
no-
circumstances that involved that
No
money.
assumption you'll have a franchise agreement next time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, yes.
For clarification, the $125,000 grant you're gonna get it in one fell swoop, but you're talking about some sort of amount of time that you can't spend it, or?
Nope.
Oh,
No.
okay, you're
Nope.
talking about 5 years on
No,
it.
it's just
It's
that
5
you're not
years to the
gonna see-
next one.
Yeah, you're not getting any more money.
So
Grant money.
Your grant
for that, so
should
it's-
last for 5 years, so you have to figure out what are your needs what are your immediate needs, and what you want to put in savings for
So-
like 4 years down the road when something goes
It's like
wrong.
a term.
So you saying that the agreement's a 5-year agreement?
Correct.
Wow, good.
No, they pushed.
And that's what we're
They
saying.
pushed for
is
more.
a limit of 5 years, it's a 5-year agreement.
That sounds better, more understanding
Yeah.
on paper, okay.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what to do with this, because God knows if we can get enough people here for a special committee meeting. I don't know what to do about that.
I wouldn't worry about it
Yeah, let's,
until
yeah.
Sue makes some sort of decision.
Yeah.
If she
Sue's on
says, hey, I need
vacation.
it, then we'll worry about it.
Cross that bridge.
Yeah, that's it.
Jump to it.
All right, sounds good. Financials.
No financials because we're sort of in limbo right now. I mean, the election was last night. We didn't know what was going to happen. Now we sort of know what's going to happen, but we don't have financial sheets to hand out to everybody yet.
We have no action items that I know of. New business, anybody?
Well,
Lighting, we
David's message.
Oh, yeah, that's right, huh?
Coordinators,
Coordinators report here.
whatever.
That's under new business?
Let's backtrack and go back to a director's report. We'll throw it back in there, I guess. We open director's report again, because he's the station,
I'll
you
put
know.
that.
The TC40, I have recorded 3 shows using the new system. This is David Suter. 3 shows using the new system, delivering 1 for scheduling. The concept of live sets is different from the VT5, which is the former one, to the TC40, which is the new one. We no longer need to create sets. We can use images directly as backgrounds with some limitations. I have found that if I have 3 backgrounds loaded, I have no place for graphics, lowers, and will need to add them in the post. The shows I have done were with 2 cameras, which lets me switch the lowers. Moving to TC40 version of live sets in the future may resolve this. The only output formats available are .mov and .mp4. both compressed files. For the time being, I'll be capturing in .mov and editing and converting to MPEG-2 in Speed Edit 2. Joe Lahr from Manchester Public TV, recommends that we add hardware to convert at MPEG-2 in real time. To gain workflow efficiencies that we need, we should look at adding the MPEG-2 conversion hardware. Note edit capability on TC40. I'm in the process of upgrading the graphic packages for each show as they are moved to the TC40 workflow. The Cooking with Charles show is the first, of course, because you're a board member. You authorize your authority there, I guess. Huh? I would like to.
That's because I'm there every week.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You might have thought you'd be more forgiving of any problems you ran into.
I would like to reconsider painting our green background using real chroma key paint. I have not finished the producer agreement draft. PEG on demand issues are resolved, and I am back post-processing town meeting videos and uploading same. I'll be cleaning up the backlog of shows in the coming weeks or so. DMS.
You know he's on vacation right
yeah,
now.
he,
I think the 15th or
He
18th.
Neil contacted me, and then because Joe had been there before and actually worked with David before. He's more or less using, well, the suggestion was the software. There was 3 different options. You can buy it in Coda, you can buy costly, not so costly, and cheap. And I think even when we were talking about it at our station, the best way for GTV would be go to the cheap version and just have the software conversion in there, and just, it's a little more time consuming, but it definitely saves on the space and the, but I don't
Can
know.
I ask what conversion you're talking about?
Because the TC40 doesn't do MPEG files. They don't record
Right.
MPEG. So you have to convert
Right,
it into
but-
MPEG.
You have to choose.
Tightrope plays MP4s.
Right, so you
So-
could go straight.
You could go straight, but there's never a show that you're going to go straight anyways.
Right.
So no matter what.
So why was he having a difficulty playing it?
I'm not sure.
I
That's
think
what
he
was-
believed it had to be an MP2, and he was also concerned that .mov and .mp4 are compressed files, and MPEG-2 is not a compressed. So I think he thought he had to go to that. But if you're starting low,
Yeah.
you can't increase your quality by changing the format. And so I think he had a little confusion with that. And I was doing a little research on TriCasters, and I found that it seems like even real high-end ones are now doing .mov and .mp4. So that's really not the issue that David thought it was.
Yeah. MP4 is where people are going in the PC world, and MOV is.
David was pushing towards MOV because he likes Mac format, so.
MOV also supposed to play in a tightrope too.
Right. And then one of his comments was about he could only do 2 camera, not 3, and there was some interaction with him and Access AV, and I think he got that problem solved.
Okay, good.
So he can now do 3 camera.
Did he?
I think so.
He didn't
They gave
do
him
3
recommendation.
cameras in your last
He
show.
didn't at that one, but
Yeah.
I think it was after that he had some email conversations.
Yeah, because I know there's going to be some growing pains with the new system, and
Right.
he's going to figure out what he needs
Yeah, 'cause
and what it can do, and what button's not pressed when it should be pressed.
and it didn't sound like training was exactly the best. It was like,
Yeah.
here you go, here's some videos,
There
whatnot.
was a snowstorm
Yeah,
that day.
Right, there was a snowstorm.
And
No,
the
but they
trainer
should-
wanted to get out before
Then
the snowstorm.
He should come back and spend more time. 'cause-
He said he'd be welcome to come back, and I think he was gonna charge us on the time he was there, not on, not saying, oh, okay, you got a day of training. He's saying, if I'm here 2 hours, you'll get charged for 2 hours. If
I'm here
3
8 hours, yeah.
I did offer to Dave that if he wanted to come to Nashua, Pete Johnson bought one for the educational channel, and Pete's been digging into it and whatnot. So, if
I
Oh,
sat
Dave
through the
may take
training,
you
and
up
it
on
was
it, yeah.
pretty straightforward. I mean, I have no video training at all, and I could go, okay, I could, camera 2, camera 3, graphics.
oh yeah,
put it-
but it's getting it set up and getting everything in there and all that kind of stuff.
But it's
I had
not as
sent you-
complicated as I thought it would be.
Yeah, no, once it's in there, it's sweet. I had sent you an email about the live set software.
Yes.
Was a deal like a couple weeks after you
XSAV
bought it?
said no.
Then I would contact NewTek
directly.
because,
And NewTek has canceled that thing, but we might say, hey, we were in your window.
yeah,
But Access AV contacted NewTek and told us, no, we missed it.
contact them yourself. Because that software is $2,500, but that software would give Dave the ability to do actual live sets. And the way live sets are made, it's picture in picture. So you could have your cooking, you could have your
we
own
have
stove digitally, and you can walk behind it and then your background and everything.
Yeah, it shows
you
the
know?
depth of
You don't
field
have it, we
changes.
bought it. It wasn't we bought it for $9.99.
Oh, they must have a deal. Live set?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Okay,
got, we
so
got,
you
we
got-
got one same thing. We actually have two
We
because
just were hoping that we could get it for free.
Well, you still should.
there was,
And you should.
the issue we ran into, because we got the 455, and the issue that's actually different, because it amazes me that, I know we're kind of off topic, but it amazes me that you have a VT5 that's, 7-8 years old, and then you have something you just bought, a 455, and you can't import files directly, like if you take a thumb drive directly, and while you're doing the show, you can't import them and then drag them in and play them simultaneously. We had to actually buy a second live set, get a little laptop, have the laptop plug it in, and have it connected
Oh, for
to be able to do
graphics
that.
and
For
stuff.
graphics and
Right.
stuff. It was absurd. I was like sitting there going, "You got to be kidding me!" So we had to actually work around the problem, and we went up and down Newtek
We
saying,
can do it on the VT40.
"What?"
I mean, the TC40.
So you
we
can
can
play
plug the
the
USB.
stick in, and while the show's taping,
Yeah.
you can throw it in. Yep.
Yeah.
See, 455 can't do it. It's amazing. It's a
All
crazy. 455s, I'm thoroughly impressed, by the way, but it's got its limitations.
Now,
It's got certain things.
455 also, well, it's what, $19,000?
Yes.
Um,
I think that's
has the capability to also record all 4 cameras.
Yes,
too.
it can. Yeah, it's actually essentially made for a. It was designed for a sports thing, because they could have them recording at the same time and be able to go backwards and do it.
Replays.
Yeah. So, but we use it for what it's. They actually figured out. Hey, it actually works pretty well for this. So, but anyways. All right. Thank you very much on that. New business. Anybody?
Whatever happened to the lights, going back to lights that we were supposed to get last December?
When we
They
had
never called
year-end
us-
money, we
Yeah.
contacted a lighting guy, and it ended up he left his job.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
He switched.
Yeah.
switched companies, and so he never got back to us before the end of the year. So we used the
Okay.
money on the TC40 that we
Gotcha,
might
okay.
have used on lighting. And I'm kind of glad we did, because I'd rather have the coordinator make that
At
decision.
least the money was spent for the station, wasn't absorbed. Okay, that's fine then, yeah.
I don't know studio stuff that
Yeah.
well, but I looked online and I saw you can get some light stands for $200 or something that might dramatically improve our lighting by lighting up the background and lighting underneath chairs and tables. And
I
things.
agree what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
I
but
don't
you
know
don't.
if
But you,
Let the lighting
Yeah,
guy come in.
I was gonna say once he comes in, we're actually we got a bid of 14,000, and he's going to PSNH because you can get
I
rebates
was
on
gonna
certain
say, we
lights.
still have.
And we're going. I'm hoping that it gets under 8. So it's going to be hopefully a lot cheaper. And PSNH helps out. They're doing LED stuff, and it's pretty amazing stuff. So I'm sure it can move right on to GTV and anybody else who can do it. So.
And Dick, I had maybe a technical question for you about the chroma key paint Dave's asking about.
Right.
Is that needed, or can we just get a certain shade of green? Because right now I guess there's like 4 shades of green at the station, and none of them match
Right.
The big
I
green.
don't know how there's 4 shades of green, because they were painted all with the same paint.
Okay, well,
It's all the same paint.
okay.
Lighting is your biggest thing. Now, I gotta be honest with you that I didn't have the problems that Dave had when he did shows, okay? Because I had a lot more experience with how to deal with it and so forth. Sometimes less light is better, okay? All you're looking for in green screening, okay, or chroma keying, I should say, is an even color that somebody's not wearing, okay, or brings in a green bottle. So, there were times where I had the lights down in the back, but it made it nice, and it was nice and sharp, So a lot of it is experience, but with the proper lighting, it'll take less experience to get quality. That's what's going to really make a difference. And then throw in the digital modulators, and when you guys see that, it is going to blow your mind.
It was a definite significant difference when we put ours in, and it's not even how it looks. It's you never have to touch them again. You can never, and Comcast can't blame you for you must have touched something.
there's no
you must
little-
have moved. You can't touch anything. It's all automated. Everything, the audio and the video get. The only thing you might have to do is maybe an audio compressor, like a regulator.
Limiter.
Yeah. So it just because sometimes you want to be able to adjust it up and down, and you can't do that from over there, and so but it does make a big difference. It really does.
I hope when that does go in, that you really time it well, with schedule-wise, with some good shows, and that we really have a lot of pre-publicity announcing it and telling people to watch, you know?
We did ours in the cloak of darkness because we were afraid just in case something happened. Oh my God, something didn't work. So, I don't want anybody to know we did this, so, but, no,
All right.
definitely. Anybody else? New business?
I tried to research some of the GTV to check out lighting and quality of shows and tried to look. I don't live in town, so I don't get the channel. So I tried to look up some of the shows on YouTube. I couldn't find your show. There's
Really?
all sorts of Cooking and Charles
There
on YouTube.
are,
Cooking
yes.
That are not your show.
Yeah, Cooking with Charles M.
Okay.
And that will bring you right to it.
But I looked for Cooking with Comedy and I found it instantly. So I don't know if you got to
Just
throw a
forward to him the link.
Yeah.
That's the
GTV
easiest way.
tag in it,
Oh,
I can do that.
because that would probably make a huge difference.
I can do that. Where do you live anyway?
Manchester.
Okay.
I don't get Manchester cable TV
You have
either.
satellite, right?
I'd like to come down and see your studio.
So you go online and watch it live on there.
Yeah, streaming.
Well, I did that.
And if the committee ever wants to, take a road trip and want to come down to Manchester just to see Manchester's, you guys are more than welcome to have that meeting.
Where is your office, I should say?
You know where Margaritas is on Elm Street?
Was it on
Yep,
there?
third and fourth floor.
I've seen you wandering around.
Oh yeah, of course I do wander a lot, but they
I go to the
they
Y.
make me
I
work.
go to the YMCA.
Yeah.
All
All right.
You guys,
Yep.
but I think
New-
you went to Manchester. Because
Nope, that was a former place.
Bedford
New business, we're all set?
Londonderry, and I
All
thought you
right.
did Manchester.
Adjourn?
I don't remember, man.
so moved.
Second.
All right, second. All in favor? All right, thank you very much, guys. Thanks a lot, Ted.
When I said I was
No-
checking the quality, I don't mean how good your show was.
I know
I
what you
meant